Call the meeting to order. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Nevada Irrigation District Board of Directors, August 26, 2026. If you'll all join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Madam Secretary, will you call the roll, please?
Yes, Division 1.
Here.
Division 2.
Here.
Division 3.
Here.
Division 4.
Present.
Division 5.
Here.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we'll have public comment for any item that is not on today's agenda. If you'd like to comment on anything pertinent to NID, come up to the microphone, state your name, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Good morning, Lily.
Good morning, everyone. Lily Marie Mora and NID customer, treated water, raw water customer. And I wanted to mention a couple of things. One, at the fair, the Dems had a booth, and in the booth was an issue board, and the issue board had make NID water affordable was one of the things, one of the items. And we weren't trying to make it good or bad or whatever, just trying to alert people. And so I think 144 adults marked that, and 110 adults and 44 young people under the age of 18 were aware. And I had worked to try to get the Farm Bureau over to put dots on the board and stuff like that. And I also worked to try to get the Republicans to get a board too. But anyway, so I'm working to bring people together. So then I wanted to thank you for I'm working on the website. It's like a job just reading the website. And but thank you. And I was thinking, again, because we had all this public going back and forth, and it's still very few people know what's going on with the dams up there. And so it seems like, coming up, we need to really do public meetings or public something to get people to know what's going on. And I was wondering, what about doing a college class at Sierra on the history and how do you fix a dam? Because people are like, well, why haven't they fixed these dams yet? What are they waiting for? And I think people think you fix a dam like you fix your faucet. They don't get that you just don't, turn it off and on and, go to the rain, don't rain or snow while we're fixing the dam or whatever. I mean, people just don't get the complexity of this situation. And so that's why I was thinking, and I don't know, he's here today, but Terry McAteer's never doing anything. So maybe he could teach that college class. And anyway, so this is so big. People just don't get it. And they're trying to get it. So anyway, that's my thing today. And thank you very much for everything you're doing. Okay, bye.
Thank you. Anybody else like to comment on any item not on today's agenda? Also, if you're at home watching on Zoom, whatever you do there, *9, is it? If you want to participate.
I don't see the.
There's no hands raised.
No hands raised, yes. Okay, with that, we will move on to the consent agenda.
I
have a
move
motion?
to accept this consent agenda, but I'd like to comment on 3F.
Which item?
I will second that,
3F.
but I would like to see 3D, 3E, and 3F.
3D, 3E, 3F.
Those are mine.
Okay, moved and seconded. Go ahead with your question.
Not a question. I just want to point out that I've heard several times, why don't you run your trucks into the ground? Why are you driving new pickups? And I just want to know that each pickup is tracked as to how it cost us, how much life it has, expected life it has, and is it going to be valuable to be fixed or replaced? And there's a lot of detail going into that, but every piece of equipment is tracked like that. And I, for one, really appreciate it. So we know when keeping something's going to cost us more than replacing it. So I just want to give kudos to maintenance. Thank you.
Okay. Richard Stevens.
On 3F, there's a couple things there. I agree with Rich. I would like to, if we could, do a simple workshop as to how the equation is done and see if it does need to be tweaked. We all know that a diesel lasts longer than a gas-powered engine, and if that's already in the equation, wonderful. If not, I'd like to see it brought into the equation. But since you have an equation, I know there's like 5 or 6 variables and everything like that, just maybe idiot, was it something for dummies or type thing for us so we can get a handle on it and see whether or not we should. Thank you.
Who are you calling a dummy?
Me.
Oh, okay.
Second thing is that we have, what is it? 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 bids put out, only 2 responded. And 5 did not. I understand those 5 are traditionally not fleet services people, but maybe we should try and get some fleet services people in there, or I don't know. How difficult is it to do a 10-person or 10 company or a 15 company request for bid?
Good morning, Board. Cameron, Maintenance Department, Superintendent. The bid process, we do send these out to quite a few bidders, as you see, and the non-responsive bids a lot of time play into fact. When these trucks are going out for bid, we're halfway into that model year, right? So when we're going out to bid, it's after January. Most of the time, it's not happening until February-ish by the time the budgets are open and available for use. So that plays in a big role of when those vehicles are built for model year and what's available out there to get in the lineup for state vehicles that are stripped down. So half of those vehicles have already been purchased because they're running on a different budget cycle than what we currently do.
Is there any way that we could tweak our evaluation and stuff to meet the maximum to get the best deal? A time of year wise or something like that? I'm asking a weird question, I know, but.
So the other option is like right now, right, we're past the end of the model year. So now we're looking at 2027 models. So that poses an issue when we're this late in the year purchasing vehicles, especially when they're in order, right? So when we're buying vehicles, we're buying the cheapest of all the cheap vehicles, right? We're buying strip models, fleet-based vehicles. Those have to be bought under a order, not off of a lot, right? Because they're fleet vehicles and most of the manufacturers are not carrying, or most of the local dealerships are not carrying those.
Okay.
So that's why a lot of these bids come in as non-responsive. It's the timing in which we do the business.
Good. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You wanted to do 3D? Somebody wanted to do 3D.
Yeah, 3D if I could, please. I'm looking at the bids on this one right here, and my only concern is the delta. Once again, we have 875,000 all the way down to 600,000. I'm glad we got the 600,000, but why such a delta? Is there anything we can do to short or narrow that gap?
So in public works contracting, that's a fairly normal situation and spread of bids, specifically when Hanson Brothers does work for us all the time. So if you recall, we don't go out to a bid hall. We have a pre-qualified list of contractors. And so those contractors are more familiar with our district, and Hanson Brothers does do a lot of work. We're confident in the bid that he provided.
No, I'm glad we got a lower bid, but anytime I see a wide spread, I always get a little nervous that somebody's either very busy and they're just throwing a number out there.
It could
they
be
don't
all of the above.
Yeah, or whatever. So if we do I'll call it the autopsy on those, just to make sure of it. And so that's basically the fact that we're under budget. I like that. I like that a lot. But whenever we have a delta, any size, I'd like to know why.
I would like to maybe speculate also that Hanson Brothers been out on Hughes Road, so they know the area.
Oh, yeah. They're probably the most
Been right
familiar
there.
with that particular location and the type of work. I'm not at all surprised that their bid was the lowest.
So in that case, it's saving us money.
Yep, I like that.
Okay. Anything else?
Not on that one.
Did you have another one?
I had one more, which was 3E.
3E.
This is the AI
Oh, yes, right.
one. And I was request to add a word in the policy of 3300.3.4 under accountability. I would like to add the word appropriate, for appropriate employees are responsible for validating the accuracy, appropriateness, and compliance with AI generated outputs. I don't want just any staff member be able to sign off on it.
I think that's fine.
It's okay.
It's totally fine.
It's fine.
We can do that.
Yep.
I'm sure we can.
I mean, it's
Okay.
appropriate.
That's an appropriate request.
I'm just trying to figure out how to do it parliamentary procedure wise, that's all.
You could just move each one of those 3 items separately, and then I'll make some modification for you.
Each one of the 3 items we discussed, we're not changing the others.
Well, you can move those 2 together then, and then just move that one separately.
Just move that. I was just gonna lump them all together and just
You
change.
can
that.
do that, and I will make the modification.
Okay, so. All right. Is the board good with the change? That's what I guess that's what I want to know.
Yeah, I don't have any problems with that.
Okay. All right. Any further comments or questions about the consent agenda? Is there any public comment on the consent agenda at this time? Okay, seeing none, Madam Secretary, will you call the roll, please?
Yes, Division 5,
Yes.
Division 4,
Yes.
Division 1,
Yes.
Division 3,
Aye.
Division 2.
Aye, thank
And
you.
Chris, just for the minutes, item 3E, the artificial intelligence use policy section 3300.3.4 will be amended as follows. Accountability, appropriate employees are responsible for validating the accuracy, appropriateness, and compliance of AI generated outputs.
All right, next is general orders. Budget to actual reports, fiscal year 2026 Q2. Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning, Board. Sandra Dunlap, Director of Finance. We are here today to talk about the budget to actuals for Q2. So this should be familiar. We just saw Q1 last month. So back to back, here we are, caught up. Yeah, we're caught up. So that's very exciting. So for Q2, I like to go to that summary page, which is page 8. So the budget to actual by fund summary. This time we'll talk about the revenues first. So the revenues and the transfers in. And so overall, we're about 49%, which ironically, I could never say we're at 50%, but this time we are right at 50% on both revenues and expenditures. For the top revenue section, I'll just point out kind of the outliers. If you look at the percentages, which is the hydro fund, and as you know, those are always billed in arrears, so that will catch up towards the end of the year. And then also Fund 70, the Internal Services Fund, that's at about 14% of total revenues, and those are grants. So most of Fund 70 is internal transfers, so we transfer from the other funds, but the only external revenue are grants. And so as you know, we have to spend the money and then request for reimbursement. So there's always a timing there. And then the bottom half of that section, transfers in, those we do a quarterly journal entry. So those are always in line because we control that each quarter on a journal entry. So that's overall for the total inflows. Then we'll jump down to the next page there, expenditures and transfers out. Again, this one, total outflows is right at 50%. the top section, which are the expenditures, there are a couple items. So Fund 21, which is Cement Hill, and Fund 22, Rodeo Flat, those expenditures are the debt service payments. This is only through the month of June. We don't make that payment till July, so we will see those expenditures going up on the next quarter. And then the other one that stands out is the Hydro Capital Fund at 17%. Again, that's all project-based, so if timing of when they can do those projects. So overall, that category is 42% of total expenditures as of Q2. Then similar to the transfers in on the revenue side, the transfers out, they exactly match. So they're both at 71%. Again, they're within our control. We do those journal entries quarterly. So that is kind of straightforward on the budget to actuals. Does anybody have any questions?
So you're very comfortable with this?
Very comfortable. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we circled back right after audit, caught up, reconciled everything, and we're moving right along.
Yeah. And the new accounting program really helps.
Yeah, it is very helpful.
I can
More
imagine.
efficient, so we're able
Yeah.
to have, departments enter invoices, so the quantity of invoices that we pay each week are more. Not that we weren't paying on time before, but we're paying even more each week.
This is really helping.
It is helping. We're still learning it. We're still learning, the reports, so you don't really see any improvement on our reports because we haven't got to that next phase of let's iron out everything in the system and then the reporting, let's see what wants we can do. So yeah, there are still some bells and whistles that we want to do in the system, but we'll get there. We're getting there.
No, I just appreciate the thoroughness.
Thank you. Thank you. We have a good team, and the departments all play a role in answering the questions and getting invoices and everything in on time. So yeah. Okay.
Very good. Thank you, Sandra. Anybody have anybody in the public have any questions or comment about the actuals? And I believe it's a receive and file.
Correct.
I have a motion to receive and file.
I'll make a motion to receive and file.
Second. Oh, Brad got it.
There's many seconds.
Everybody seconded. Pick one.
4 seconds.
4 seconds.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Is there any further board discussion? Madam Secretary, will you call the roll, please?
Yes. And for the record, I'm putting Ricky Heck as our second. I heard your voice first.
Oh, you heard my voice. It was good
Division
because I'm
5?
Louder than everybody.
Yes.
Thank you. Division 4,
Yes.
Division 1,
Yes.
Division 3,
Aye.
Division 2.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. And you're up again.
I'm here
Right.
again.
Okay. Next is the mid-year budget amendment for 2026. Go ahead.
Okay. So this is an item that we do once a year. Actually, we're right on target. We always do it at this time of year. So we bring an item forward for any mid-year adjustments, and it has been in the district's practice these last few years to also disencumber or unencumber funds, which has been really helpful in tightening down the budget and preparing the build for our next year's budget. So basically, the internal process is we reach out to the departments, we give them all current budget to actuals, and then we work through any things that they may need and bring it as one package to you. So it's broken down. I'm just looking at the second page, the chart here. The top section are revenues. And so we are decreasing revenues overall by 134,000. The big one there is the South Sutter Water District. That was just really a timing, so it was included in the budget, but we kind of did away with that support. And then the next section there is the operational expenses, which is very small. And you may be wondering why we're bringing $25 and $20, but because we're so restricted and you cannot move expenditures or revenues between the funds, and these particular funds have very minimal expenditures to kind of absorb in another category, we have to bring everything forward. So that's what we're bringing these small ones forward. So it's about $945 for some banking fees and administrative fees for our debt agency. And then the last section there, did you have a question?
No.
Okay. The last section there is the capital expenditures. So we had also asked the departments to go through this year, the 2026 capital projects, and most of these items here are decreasing those for various reasons. They're not going to get to them or they're pushed to the future years. So we're disencumbering $504,000 in capital projects. So this is pretty straightforward. It's very minimal. It's actually really impressive that the district is, all the departments are very on top of their budgets, and we're not really asking for much. We're actually unencumbering funds. So overall, the net adjustment is $368,933.
Okay.
Any questions? Yeah.
Yeah. Disencumbering the Newtown Canal diversion, that is, put it on hold until, is that the planning for the diversion up on Deer Creek? Or is that the one at
It's the one related to the
Personini?
BEP.
BEPS, yeah. So this
Correct,
will,
Dave?
this delays this until we make a decision on the BEPS.
You got it.
Yep.
Yeah, if we do the BEP, then we don't do this project, so we're just holding till we decide.
And that was a $1.7 million project or close to it?
If we do the full diversion, this 200,000 was just to get it started and do CEQA and permitting.
Right.
But we're holding on all of it.
Nice.
Comment?
Go ahead.
What I'm seeing here is some savings. I don't think you or us or anybody gets enough credit for the fact that we're saving money. As Brad brings up regularly, there's a cost overrun. There's a 10% contingency, a 12% contingency, a 15% contingency. That comes across as a negative messaging. This comes across as a positive messaging. I'd almost like to broadcast that or whatever, get that out there. Hey, we saved $4,000 on a side-by-side, or whatever it is. We got $500,000 here because we're properly managing the projects and moving things forward when we can. I just like to see how we, staff, everybody get credit for that because it's very important.
Yeah, that's why I point out the disencumbering is kind of a big deal because most agencies don't take forward removing funds, right? They just want to spend more. So it's very helpful when departments can assess mid-year and say, actually, we can't do that this year. Let's push it, or there was savings, let's reduce it. So I think, it's kudos to the departments for being on top of their budgets.
One of my guardrails was any disencumbered funds that got moved forward will help adjust rates for the next year. So this right here shows that we're doing that, and I like that a lot.
Thank you.
I like it also, and thanks for calling me out, Earl. I appreciate that.
No, I agree with you when we're saying, I hate this.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Yeah.
I like having the positive messaging here, but I'd like to figure out a way to get that message out there to more people.
Thank you.
Well, it starts here with what you're doing.
And
Yes.
I'm not trying to call you out, Brad. I'm using that. Sorry.
It just comes to mind first, right? Okay, any further comments on the mid-year budget amendment?
I got another question.
Go ahead.
So the difference in our reserves or fund balances is 17,000 or 17,800,000. Significant. And is that a lot of it's due to hydro revenues, but not all of it?
A lot of it was related to increased hydro revenues over what we had originally projected for 2025, which then influenced our 2026 projections and decreased expenditures. And then also just remember, you can take Fund 85 out of the consideration. Those are legally restricted reserves for the pension unfunded liability trust.
But that's only 445,000.
Yeah, so remember Sandra, a couple meetings ago, we reported out on the audit. So once the audit is final, we have final financials for the year that the audit was covering, which this last audit was covering 2025.
Yep.
So then we go through and we do a wholesale update to the beginning fund balances. So for example, we're in the middle, staff's in the middle of budgeting right now for 2027. So, we're in the August timeframe. We start making projections on how much money we'll end up spending this year, as well as what our revenues will be. And then those projections constantly need to be updated once we start receiving actual numbers.
But knowing that these fund balances have gone up allowed you also to work on getting water rates down?
Yes, and that is the strategy that we utilize consistent with the Earl guardrails for the rate implementation to propose a lower rate structure for 2027.
You used that difference in fund balance for the lowering of the rates from what was proposed to.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that is, I guess what I'm
It's
saying.
another, it's another positive.
It's,
right?
yeah, it's
another
a positive for sure. But it's also been accounted for in the current rate structure that we adopted.
Right.
Correct.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I've noticed that your comments are generally commentary, actually, your questions. When you ask a question, it's actually a editorial. It's okay. I appreciate it.
we can have a class after.
Yes, sir.
Well, you're good at it too.
Did you have any other comments, Director Fowler?
No, sir.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, and this is a resolution number 2026-32. Do we have a motion?
I move to accept resolution number 2026-32.
Second.
Any further discussion from the board? Any public comment on the resolution for the mid-year budget amendment? All right, Madam Secretary, will you call the roll, please?
Division 5,
Yes.
Division 4,
Yes.
Division 1,
Yes.
Division 3,
Aye.
Division 2.
Aye. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sandra. Good job.
Excellent.
Very
And,
pleased.
Corey too, right?
Good news. Yes. Well, the whole department.
Right.
Okay, next item is the 4C Rollins Emergency Slope and Sediment Stabilization Project number.
Morning, board.
Three.
Yep, I can take this one.
Go ahead.
I'll start and then I'm happy to answer questions as we move forward. So, ironically and sadly, we are here again today, 2 years later after what happened last year, or 2 years ago, similar instance in a similar location. I do want to clarify, though, for the record and right off the bat, that this is certainly not a dam safety concern for Rollins Reservoir at all. No way, shape, or form is this a consideration for dam safety or the safety and health of that reservoir. So that is one thing I want to be very clear. About a mile up the Bear River is a location where it's called Stampede Canyon. Kind of comes down from the Placer side of Rollins Reservoir, Placer County. One of our staff in mid-January or July noticed an abnormal cut of trees and a stabilized zone in the middle of the forest on the upper side of the high water mark of Rollins. In examining it, he realized that there was an actual pretty substantial road cut right in the exact same location as a road cut was 2 years ago, in which the district had to establish an emergency authorization. We did an emergency budget amendment. We went in and we cleared and we remediated that section of road cut, which was about maybe a couple hundred yards long of NID property. And about 50 or 70 vertical feet of area. Very similar to this same location, we have a much more egregious road cut, which you can literally take a rock and toss it to the location where it was before. This time it's a little closer to the canyon, the foot of the canyon, which is impeded certain stream flow. This the stream that's flowing into Rollins. I can't remember the name. At one time, the stream might have been 8 to 10 feet wide. And now in certain places, the stream can be 1 to 2 feet wide. I've been out there a few different times now with both Placer County code enforcement, as well as yesterday with the Regional Water Board to take a look at what's going on and what we have. I've been out there with a contractor, the contractor who did the work in 2024 and actually remediated it to a point that you wouldn't even know that anything was there. The road cut might be 15 or 20 feet on the uphill slope and then flat as a road and then pushed all the debris downslope. 2 years ago, this consultant came in and within a 4-day period made it all look like it has been now the same slope. So it's really well done. It has held its stability over the last couple winters, and so we feel confident that this same contractor can come out and do the same work. The difference with this work is that there is debris, sediment, trees, soil, rocks in the flowing stream currently. So we're going to have to abide by various water efficiency and stormwater and stream side in-stream work to be done. I talked to the water board about this yesterday, and we talked about this particular item that was on an emergency declaration for you today. We estimate that there's somewhere around the neighborhood of 100,000 yards of soil that has been disturbed on NID property. The photos in your packet do not do this site justice. It is extremely steep, and if and when the first storms arrive, on top of this loose soil that has been just moved and placed without any consideration of environmental considerations or surface stabilization or anything, we are greatly concerned that a lot of this soil and sediment will just flow directly into the lake, causing massive erosion in this very steep and narrow channel, which is the road that's been created. I estimate roughly 50 or so trees have been pushed over, cut, destroyed by machines that have hit it and broke the bark and taken chunks out of it. Others where you can clearly see that root balls and roots have been sawed and cut with the intent of moving certain trees to get deeper into the hill slope. Many of the trees are going to fall over as soon as the mudslides and rains come, and they die because the roots have been cut and exposed. And like I said, roughly 50 or so yards of the stream itself has been sort of impeded by debris, soil, sediment. We've noted to Placer County Code Enforcement, the Regional Water Board, and Fish and Wildlife this issue. Like I said, I was out there yesterday with the Regional Board and a couple weeks ago with Code Enforcement at Placer County. This is activity that NID necessarily never would have seen or known about until one of our staff who was out recreating on Rollins one day happened to notice it, and that Rollins happens to be at full level right now so that we can actually boat into it. If this was a normal year, this would have been a low water area and we never would have seen it until perhaps next summer. So it's an issue, and we think that bringing this emergency declaration to the board to identify it, this requires us to move monies from our reserves into a fund. The individual who is a neighbor of ours, 2 neighbors away, lives on top of the hill, roughly maybe a mile or so uphill, about a 400, 500 vertical drop or increase uphill, was the one 2 years ago who admitted to doing this and paid NID a sum of money that was our invoice to him, and it was the work that we had. And so he reimbursed us at the time. At this time, we're going to do the same. We anticipate the same outcome. So we do anticipate getting reimbursed with this funds. And at this point, We have a quotation from Neil's Control Blasting, NCB, who did the work last time for $282,620 to remediate this section of NID's property. Based on that and understanding and not totally knowing what the water board or the Fish and Wildlife will be asking for us to do more of, monitoring perhaps, turbidity controls, water quality considerations. We're not quite sure what those will be. So we added a 25% contingency on top of that quote from the contractor. So that brings us up to an ask of $354,000 to get in there and do the work that's needed before the winter rains come. And anything else? I think I will stop
Yeah, so
there.
we're
and answer.
just here today to request authorization for the resolution to approve the budget amendment, enter into the contract, and declare the emergency. Are we declaring the emergency, Greg?
We are.
Yes.
Who
Any
wants to go
questions?
first?
Who wants to go first?
Ladies go first.
I'll go first.
Thank you.
Ladies go first.
Well, that's, Mr. President
Yes.
directed that, so I will go first. Let's see, a couple of different questions. The 380 or 354,000, does that include what will be our legal fees in pursuing this?
That does not.
It does not.
No.
And then how do we get our legal fees reimbursed? Should we, well, let me back up. Is this a civil complaint? Are we suing this individual for the money?
This item is part of closed session today, so we'll speak to the specifics of
Okay.
potential legal
Okay.
actions at that time.
Okay, fine. Then, let's see, what do I have? Oh, I know. Does our insurance cover any of these costs in the immediate?
No,
It does not.
no.
Oh, interesting.
This is not something insurance would be covering for us.
Huh, okay. And, well, then the rest of my questions have to do with stuff, so I'll just be quiet. Here we go. Thank you.
Okay, Director Stevens.
We have a dollar amount there. We don't know if it's going to be appropriate to, I'm concerned about long-term monitoring, the replanting, removing of the fell trees so they don't wash into the lake or become a fire hazard. Sediment from the non-NID property. We're talking about only restoring our property. What do we do about sediment coming down from other properties? Was that included here, or is that going to be an additional item, or should we make it to 50% just to make sure we're covered?
So it's included. The sediment that comes down from the hill slope above, we will be building at the top of our property. Like I said, is probably 40 or 50 vertical feet away from the high water mark of the reservoir and the valley floor of this canyon. And so what has happened in the past is 2 years ago, we went to our property line and built a little settling basin at the top and some water bars. And so the down trees and the soil has been built into water bars. It's kind of a little bit of settling basins, and those trees will act as water bars as well to help divert stream flow of water from coming down from above and help dissipate that water. So our intent is that it will stop the egregious amount of water that comes down in a torrent straight line and slow it down and then dissipate into the ground table and then just slow itself out.
Okay, the old thing about a stitch in time saves 9. I would hate to have to remove the sediment from Rollins versus keep it out of it in the first.
And that's the idea. And the interesting thing about this is we've got experience with this now. We did it 2 years ago. And so, and it worked quite well.
Don't get used to it.
I'd really not like to be out here ever again.
So Earl covered my concern about the upper area, and rest of my comments I'll save for closed session.
Yeah, and just so you know, the upper area is not our property. We have no legal obligation or authority to work on anyone else's property.
But if you divert water or the channel water anywhere in California, you do, that landowner has done it at their own peril.
Well, and that's why we've reported the situation to the Regional Water Quality Control Board.
And my question or comment is related to the penalties. I know that if I, as a private landowner, if I did something in a stream bed, there would be stiff penalties associated with that. Are we absolved because NID did not engage in those acts, or is that a closed session thing? Are there penalties associated with it, and who bears the costs?
That is something we're going to have to work with the water board, and we'll probably talk about that.
I highly doubt we would be subject to penalty.
And that's what I was hoping you were going to say. My other question is, and it's not exactly related to this, but that brings up, so we have vulnerable properties that are not tended, and by fortunate circumstance, we noticed this. Are there other properties where people are doing things and we don't know about it currently?
Probably.
You don't
Yes.
know the answer to that.
No, I do know the answer, and the answer is yes.
Yeah.
And so is that something that's worth discussing, a plan of patrolling or something? Or are you the patroller, Greg? You go out and with a list.
Uh-huh.
The trollinator.
Yeah.
No.
All staff that's out in the field all the
Just keep an eye on stuff as we're out there.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a vast system that we operate and work in. We do not have staff and we do not have cameras to cover every single location. We do know certain places that property owners nearby or vandals might attend to and want to be drawn to. We tend to put up barriers, and where we can, others we address them as we
It
can.
really depends on the risk of the facility. So, for example, like a hydropower facility or a dam facility or a treatment plant, those are remotely monitored 24 hours a day. Something such as a lakeside slope, it would be as we see it.
So hopefully we have good relationships with the majority of our neighbors that would at least let us know if something like.
Oh, they call and
You'd be
complain.
surprised. We get a lot of phone calls from concerned neighbors,
Right, right.
especially when there's somebody in a canyon and they've broken through and there might be a small warming fire going on. We get a lot of phone calls from locals and neighbors all the time.
Great.
I have
Thank
a
you.
question. I don't know if it's a closed session or not, but this is a regional problem, not just an NID property problem. Is the Fish and Game and Water Board going to handle it as one issue, or are they going to break it up into multiple?
I'm not sure how they're going to handle that.
We may want to think about that if we have to do a coordinated effort or something.
We definitely will be coordinating with the water board and the county.
I meant also the consultant that's going to probably fix the off-site facility.
Yeah, we are not fixing the offsite.
No, we're not. But if the Water Board makes it a one,
The water board, to the extent of their legal authority, would place some type of administrative action on the property owner. It's unclear at this time what they will do.
So my question, originally Rollins had we owned 100 feet of land from the water line. But didn't you indicate, or somebody did, that we own more property at this point, at this spot, or not?
No,
No, it's
No.
same 100.
Standard,
So we're
yeah.
only talking about 100 feet
correct.
up. And then this person, I assume, is the immediate neighbor.
No, he's 2 neighbors removed.
So
Cowboys.
Really?
Yeah.
he went across somebody else.
Yes, he did.
Okay, well, that's not our problem, but I was just concerned, just wondering. And then what have we thought about doing as far as building a gate or something? Because he did it in the same spot.
Well,
Or is it-
I think the good news is
I don't think a gate's a problem for this guy.
the gate is not a problem for this gentleman, but the good news is he actually burned up his excavator this time. Last time he got
Last time it
stuck.
just fell into place.
Yeah, last time it fell into the reservoir, and this time he actually caught it on fire. So
Really?
Yes.
So now he's an arsonist?
Well,
he put the fire out. He buried it personally, dirt.
Wow.
So I have one more that's
Go ahead.
probably, and we're talking about pennies at this point in relation, but the merchantable timber, is any of that, is there a value calculated on any of that?
3 times.
we will attempt to calculate that.
Okay.
yes.
You get 3 times the value.
Okay, thank you.
You mean
You get if someone cut your,
Yeah,
wood
yeah,
down,
yeah.
you get
Yeah.
recovered 3
Yeah.
times.
Yep.
called?
There's some big trees that are down.
Yeah. So I'm going to move to declare a local emergency and approve a budget amendment for Rollins Emergency Slope and Sediment Stabilization Project number R0030, and it's resolution number 2026-33. Hopefully we don't get any more of these.
Moved and seconded. Any further questions from the board? Any public comment on this resolution?
Earl McCosker with the Farm Bureau. I don't know why, but NID brings out the old colloquialisms with me all the time. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. It's the second time we assume that this person has done the same thing. In Marin County, which surprised me, I would be out on patrol at 3 a.m. and be driving past areas that were in the Marin County Municipal Water District, part of their watershed. And their areas were fenced off with cyclone fencing. They also, at one point, had and still do have their own security force and law enforcement within the department. They contracted with the sheriff's department at one point to get a patrolman that was available to cover their property areas and plus their own. I think there's a lot of taking action, which is appropriate. I would hope there was also be criminal action involved in this regarding vandalism to the property. And I did not hear that part. I heard water board, but I didn't hear sheriff's department, whether they were brought in or not.
We have closed session coming up.
Okay, very good. Just a reminder about what could be done on prevention. Good fences make good neighbors. Sometimes just knowing the line, of course, that doesn't sound like that would stop this person necessarily, but it seems if there is something that you can discuss about prevention or a recommendation from the people you're consulting with, it would be, I'd like to see this as something that comes back to the public to hear what happened on it and what the final outcome was. Thank you.
Thank you, Carl. Anybody else? Further comment on this resolution? Madam Secretary, will you call the roll, please?
Division 5,
Yes.
Division 4,
Yes.
Division 1,
Yes.
Division 3,
Aye.
Division 2.
Aye. Thank you very much. Thank you, Greg. Okay, next we move to workshop items. 5A's grants update. That be Greg?
Yeah, so Chris, can you pull that item up? This is in request to, after the last time we brought a grant update and sort of just overview of NID grant opportunities and thoughts and how we're proceeding with different grant opportunities in the state and federally. This is just a quick snapshot of sort of where we are to date. The top section talks about year-to-date 2026 current grants that we're working on and working with. This includes the Scotts Flat U.S. Department of Energy grant that we have been awarded and are still in the process of receiving. So that hasn't actually come into the district yet, but it has been indicated that it is still on and that NID has been awarded it. So I added that into this slide. The top is mostly a lot of forestry and fuels management work that we have been operating on in and around the upper sections of the district, sort of the English Meadows area and Jackson Meadows region, as well as I'd be happy to announce that the South Yuba Canal, we are going to be moving on that project relatively soon before the fall. About a mile's worth of fuels management, complete removal of fuels. And we just got announced that if you jump down to the next potential grant projects, that top South Yuba Canal, we have been awarded to come back, and the Sierra Nevada Conservancy has accepted our petition to actually send them more than a concept, but an actual proposal to do a full fuels management plan for the totality of the South Yuba Canal. So we're really excited about that. That'll be submitted in November. Again, there are two particular programs that we're looking at for Scotts Flat Spillway. The big one is the Prop 4. That's really the one that, I mean, this Scotts Flat Spillway Prop 4 was made for this project. We're feeling very confident. Some updates there. We have sent draft letters of support and resolutions to a number of agencies and organizations in the region, probably 15. We've received 2 resolutions, 2 letters of support thus far. The Placer Farm Bureau, the Nevada County Consolidated Fire District letter of support. Mountain Counties Water Resources Association has offered a letter of support, and the Regional Water Authority have offered a resolution. We're waiting to hear back from various other local agencies, county, cities, and other nonprofit and NGO organizations for letters of support. With that, on the NID website today, there is a drop-down menu on the About Us, and it says offer your letter of support. You click on that and you type in your name and your address, and lo and behold, you will get a PDF with your signature on a document that will be sent directly and housed with NID so that we can download those and print those as necessary. And then the individual on the website will also be able to get that and download it for themselves and as a copy. So there is a button that has that letter of support on the website. So I please welcome anybody to go to the website.
Well done.
And yeah, thank you to IT. And as a matter of fact, thank you to our intern to help with that. Theo was really instrumental in helping put this together. So really call out to our IT department and Theo in particular, who's been an intern with us over the summer. We're looking at for the Lake Wildwood project. The Water Smart from the Bureau of Reclamation has a program that we're looking at right now to see if we can perhaps get a handful of dollars for that. So there are programs that we're looking at. If anybody has ideas or thoughts on new ones that we haven't seen or not in this list, please, send me an email, send a link to it, and we'd be happy to look at it and how it coordinates with our projects.
So Water Smart.
Yeah.
Meters?
No.
No.
No, that just, it's an acronym for the Bureau of Reclamation. I don't recall what the smart.
So it wouldn't pay for hookups and new meters?
It's a drought resiliency program. It pays for a lot of
It
different.
could potentially, if we
Yeah.
make a linkage
Yeah.
between groundwater wells and
I know
the
in
water system.
Lake Wildwood, I had a leak because he had bad pipes put in a house less than 10 years ago and had a leak, but we were able, NID came in and is right in the neighborhood, put a smart meter in there. He had another leak. We detected it and it saved his house from a bigger damage from the water. I just was hoping.
Yeah, we're still working on the meter replacement program. We're actually ramping up some efforts in the next month or so. So
Yeah.
we're making better progress now.
Yeah, I mean, it's really valuable.
Yeah.
So this could pay for hookups, could pay for whatever.
This particular program has a lot of different applications to it. Yeah.
So just
It's
Plug and
yeah,
fill.
it's state, it's nationwide.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Chris?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Okay, love the update. Thank you very much. I love the fact that the website's up and going.
Mhm.
I saw something about we're doing monthly bills. Can we put a flyer in the monthly bill? It says Prop 4 signups too, just to get it out there to everyone.
I'll look at it.
Okay. Second thing is that, and this is, I talked to a lot of people and they're all saying, well, we're going after a lot of these conservation grants, but we're not going after a lot of the, hey, you George, whatever that backbone. But what I want to emphasize is that we have to take care of that high country no matter what. So if we took the money that we put down here into the infrastructure and used it for up there, we'd have to raise rates to take care of this down here. So getting the money for that high country and taking care of it at grants frees that money up to be used down here in the lower country. And I think that doesn't get enough credit. So yeah. I like the idea. We're doing a lot of the restoration up there that's required. But that frees up money for down here.
In addition to that, a lot of grant opportunities are opportunistic, and it depends on particularly state what the driver is for state requirements and needs. Fire and fuels mitigation grants and availability have been very active in the last 5 or 7 years.
Mhm.
So
If we lose the South Yuba Canal, because of fire or something like that, we're gonna have lots of trouble. So yeah, we have to take care of that, but grants to take care of that as much as we can, frees up money to take care of infrastructure down there.
I would comment also, the subcommittee on water irrigation efficiency is going to come out with hopefully some projects that are grant fundable. So that would be particularly focused on ranches and farms.
Right.
And I also, on the status on the lower one for the water and wastewater disposal, it's accepted October 1st to September 30th, 2026.
Yeah, that was a mistake. That is an
If you got
ongoing.
this on your screen, it's
The screen, we changed it. It's an ongoing kind of revolving program
So it's accept,
that USDA has, yes.
so 2027?
Ongoing
No,
and
just
it's
take
kind of
off the year.
from October 1 to September 30th. It's just
October.
their block of
Oh.
time.
Yearly, it's
It's their yearly block of time.
yes.
Okay.
Whether they're funded through the
That's a minus
through the
one.
federal government. Yeah, it's not as it's not always going to be there.
Short window, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
And that's the update.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Hmm.
I assume no, you don't need to take any action on this one.
No?
I
Right.
think it was just a
Yeah, that's just
Update.
update.
Yes, thank you.
The President Beerwagon, the next item might be a little bit long. It is up to the board's desire as to whether you require a short restroom
Let's-
break.
I see it.
It'd be a snack break.
No snacks will be allowed during this time.
We'll take a 5-minute break. Make it 10 minutes.
Oh, boy.
Meeting is back in session. Next item is the capital improvement program. Capital improvement program, mid-year status update. Good morning, Gabe.
Good morning. Am I on? Yes.
Welcome.
All right. Thank you. Welcome to the, can't pull this any closer, to the 2026 CIP project program update or status update. And my hope here in presenting this, if you've looked at the packet, it's pretty lengthy. So my hope is to kind of skip some of the economics, all the accounting updates, and really focus on an update of the actual physical projects that are underway and hit them somewhat at a high level. We can drop down into the weeds if you have questions, but if you're like me, over the last year, we've had a couple rate workshops and hearings, and we're a little bit economically fatigued, and Sandra just updated us, so I was hoping to skip the accounting and move to the projects.
That's a new term, economic fatigue.
Yeah, you don't have it?
It's a good one.
Yeah. All right, so let's see, I think I have the remote. See if I can use it. You know what, I'm gonna move this podium a little bit, if that's okay. You know what, I don't have to, I have it on my local screen, I'm not used to that. Okay, thank you. Okay, so the 26 projects include funds 15, 55, and 70 from, water, hydro, and maintenance, and, these other categories here. We're going to kind of skip the accounting if the remote will work. Trying to click it. There we go. So you're welcome to ask anything about accounting if you like, but I'm going to just let you have that. Oh, here we go.
Sorry about that.
No,
I
jump.
like looking at the money.
Yeah.
So when you say the remaining budget is 10 million for all of across all funds, will that amount be encumbered for 2026, or will there be any part of it, a substantial, I'm not talking about pennies, a substantial part that will be then rolled over into subsequent years, 27 or 28?
In aggregate, I think there's a good amount that we're not spending and that's being freed up at the end of the year. We're still working through 26, so some of it's still encumbered, some of it is still anticipated to be used this year, but not all of it, to your question.
So, for example, if a project has not been bid out for construction yet, those funds aren't encumbered. Encumbered means a purchase order has been open for specific action or purchase or contractor.
A good question.
Right. So
So this number could change.
that number can change.
Those numbers will change.
Those will change. Yes, okay.
And this
That-
is as of, I'm sorry, this is as of what date for the what's been expended and what's been incurred?
I think through this last week when we put this slideshow
Really?
together.
Oh, okay, so it's that updated. I was guessing this was end of June or something. No,
I think it's pretty current.
okay,
I hope I'm right.
thank you.
Okay, well, starting with the engineering department, capital projects for water. Oh, this slideshow doesn't quite match the package, so that's why I stumbled there. All right, so our first project is the E. George to Lake Wildwood project. You've heard about this before. It's underway. We've been procuring, identifying, defining, and procuring easements and fee titles locations for pressure reducing stations. You know, we're dropping 1,000 feet downhill, so we have to break the pressure there. I think in total there are 15 sites we're acquiring. We have almost all the property owners at the table and willing to participate. 3 of them are closed deals where we've purchased or acquired the easement. So it's underway. Our survey, which will be the backbone of the design for plans and profiles, will be done this week or next week. We're very close. And by survey, I mean the topography that captures all the physical terrain. That's our base map. The next project is Scotts Flat Spillway. This one is well underway. You've also heard about it. Having removed the upper plunge pool in the spring, the project is in redesign to remove that from the drawings and specifications and add anchors to satisfy the DSOD requirement for the upper plunge pool area without removing and replacing it in whole. This work is underway. The design is anticipated to be done this fall, along with CEQA and the environmental permitting. And then it's basically just going to sit until, mid-late 27 when we bid it. The reason for that delay, you'll recall, is to try to chase and capture grants. So that's basically a year delay. That's why we're so far ahead. Yes.
CEQA, no NEPA required, even though FERC's involved?
No, sometimes they require what's called a cross cutter with to satisfy NEPA for federal funding or a federal requirement. Usually it comes with a federal funding issue, not a federal mandate for the work itself. And so I'm not sure. I know we're doing CEQA. There might be a category in the CEQA document that covers that cross cutter process that addresses the NEPA requirements. A little bit of a guess there.
I don't think it's subject to NEPA at this point, but it certainly may be if we receive funding.
Hey, Gabe, if I could interrupt just one second, I failed to say this is a workshop, so this is open. This is a non-formal discussion. We don't take any action. We just jump up and say what we want to say. So anybody here that wants to talk, ask questions, just feel free to do so.
So, but both E. George and Scotts Flat will be put out for bids next year. That's the schedule.
It is unclear. Scotts Flat will certainly be put out to bid. I don't know at this point whether or not the E. George to Lake Wildwood would be put out to bid. We are going to be proposing the 2027 capital projects at the next board meeting through a workshop scenario. I am going to be holding the 2027 capital program very low until we proceed with a debt funding opportunity. Now, if you recall, our model is based off of issuing debt even in year 1 of the rates. So I don't want to overspend and draw down our liquidity, which would undermine our underwriting for any debt. So I will be holding the capital low.
So that means until we've formally pursued bond, we don't spend on the project. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. We will make those decisions once the debt financing is secured.
Right. Okay. You can't stay out of the economics, Gabe. So.
I appreciate that. Yeah, so the project will be ready. The E. George to Lake Wildwood project will be ready for bid. It'll be, yeah, and then we can figure out the funding and what to do with your input. The next project are some improvements at the North Auburn water treatment plant upgrades. These are largely electrical control improvements that started before my time here a couple of years ago, and then we had significant delays. The good news is, I think it was last week or the week before, we got these control panels. They're all on site and they're being installed as we speak. So this project is anticipated to conclude this year. Ore Creek Siphon Replacement Project. This is part of the Combi-Ophir Canal System down to Placer County, a critical arterial canal system. And this inverted siphon was old and undersized. It's part of a series of upgrades to increase our capacity and reliability to the Placer County. This was completed this summer, and you see a couple pictures of it here. It's a 48-inch new single barrel inverted siphon. Related to all the Caltrans improvements coming through Highway 49 and Highway 20, they had a conflict with our crossing at Smith Road. This has been lowered and increased and put in a casing pipe across Highway 49 just south of McKnight, and that work is complete. So their road work is continuing overhead. The pipe's protected. Related to that conflict is a pressure reducing station. We also call it the Smith Road pressure reducing station. It was old, underground, and just right on the edge of the fog line. The Caltrans did not make us remove it, but we said, hey, we got to get out of the way. So this has now been moved up to LeBar Meadows. You see some pictures where the NID staff have rebuilt this little above grade new pressure reducing station. And this work is also complete. Ridge Road Pipeline, we talked about this earlier. It was a question about the bids. I will comment that we did do a little forensic work on that bid, make sure it was a good bid because it was considerably lower than the others, and it is due to Hanson Brothers being local. They don't have to really mow and demow. They know the site, and they're also planning to do that work when the high school is out. And so that was a big encumbrance to the project, and we're not sure if the other bidders considered that because there were significant traffic control requirements imposed on us by the city. So they found some innovation to control the cost.
Love the input. Thank you.
China Union at Riffelbox. This is you can see from the picture there, just a Swiss cheese of pipe that's leaking and wasting water. This is planned to be built this fall, so it hasn't started yet. Gold Hill Diversion, we have another really antiquated piece of pipe that conveys water from what do we call that? Is the Ore Creek Reservoir? It has another name. Gold Hill Reservoir diverts to the Gold Hill Canal. And another piece of this project not shown in the picture is that there's like a 25 or 30 foot tall stacked rock dam that leaks very significantly. So part of the project is to modify the spillway, lower the water level, and lower the pressure on that rock dam. And we're not rebuilding it, but we'll reduce the leak and the exposure that it has against waterhead.
What's the access to these facilities here? Is it helicopter in or is it?
No, this one is down in the lower lands, down in Placer County, as opposed to high country, and there's a road right to it. It is a little bit difficult, though. It's down in the ravine, of course, and yeah, the work will be a little tricky, but accessible. DS Canal culverts. The DS Canal is another arterial line coming out of Lower Scotts Flat Reservoir and serves both potable water and irrigation water to a large portion of Nevada County. So this is a critical area. These culverts are old. They create a little bit of a backup. And so we haven't started the work, but we're designing improvements here to either replace the culvert or streamline the hydraulics. It's a tricky project because it's on Red Dog Road. The county's going to require traffic to remain open during construction. And there's a high pressure PGD gas line across it too. So fun, right? Rough and Ready Roundabout, right out here at the intersection of Ridge Road, just half a mile from us, and the Rough and Ready Highway. The county's planning a roundabout. You've heard about this before, I believe. And we have a treated water line that goes right through it, as well as an open canal that heads that way. And they're all kind of in conflict. There's no plan for NID to do any work until or when this county project comes. So everything is working in good working order for us right now. But if they build the roundabout, we have to adjust around it. So we're poised to respond when they pull the trigger. They've told us for a couple of years they're about to come and still haven't come.
Do we get reimbursed?
No, we don't have to move. We need to get out of the way. If we ever want to work on that pipeline or access it, we'll want to get out. We won't want to be in the roundabout. It's a relatively small project, $120,000.
Legitimate big chip in, huh?
I think they were there first, so they have senior rights.
We're first in time, first in right.
For the canal, not the treated water. Yeah, there's some nuance to the two utilities there.
Right.
So the Loma Rica Dam project is, you've heard about this one before as well. It's basically the day tank, if you will, in front of the E. George water treatment plant, as well as the Loma Rica water treatment plant, kind of critical to maintaining reliable water through the plants and through to the treated water system that serve most of Nevada County's treated water. And I believe it was last year, DSOD said, hey, this dam is not stable. What are you going to do? So to mitigate their concern a little bit, we're operating at a reduced water level, but that does not eliminate the concern, because the concern is at the toe of the dam regardless of the water level. So it just makes us feel a little better, maybe reduces the inundation zone if it were to fail, but it's not poised to fail, in my opinion.
I have a question about this. This is also in my division. And I talked to Jen about it. It was a little alarming to see the DSOD's conclusion that this has potential for liquefaction and inundation of the residential areas that are beneath it. And so my question is, what do we do, NID, to inform those who are downstream or whose homes may be in the pathway should there be a seismic event? What do we do? Do we notify folks in advance that says, and by the way, we will be doing this work because, as a real estate person, my real estate hat says, there's some disclosure that needs to be done, perhaps, maybe not. Certainly there's community disclosure that seems like we should be participating in, and maybe that's a closed session item.
No, I just don't think we know enough yet to make any notifications regarding.
Uh-huh.
So we're required to continue to study the issue to better define the issue.
Right. But if I had my house down that channel, I would want to know more like today or tomorrow that there was a potential for that kind of inundation. And I'm just asking the question.
Director Heck, I think that's a great question. And the work we're doing right now is to confirm that the DSOD's suspicion is correct. So we're going to revisit the stability. Maybe we conclude otherwise and negotiate with them and they agree, oh, it's okay. We don't know this yet.
Okay.
And we're also going to revisit the inundation mapping study to confirm what the flood route would be. And so maybe it is premature, as Jennifer says, we don't know enough. We're
We don't
confirming.
want to scare people
Right,
necessarily,
right.
for sure.
So, and I think we want to be careful about impacting people's land value as well when we.
That's right. I
what we
know.
don't
It's
know,
a,
right?
it's a big deal.
But we just don't know
many
it. I would hate to cause hysteria over something that's ill-defined at this point.
Right. No, I get that. So but I'm bringing it up just to shine a little bit of a light.
Yeah, it's a very valid point.
Okay.
I agree.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. I think we have some maintenance items here, including spray shed enclosure that's poised to be completed this fall. I think there's some trucks. I'm going to move right through these vehicle items. Maybe there's a separate workshop, as Director Stephen requested, on truck replacement. There was an excavator here. You've heard about this earlier this year. Came in under budget. All right. Lake of the Pines water treatment plant chemical tanks. This is basically augmenting and replacing some old tanks and chemical controls in the plant. And so there's a driveway improvement component, a new containment pad, and new tanks being set.
This was on the agenda earlier today.
Yes.
Right. Some PLC replacement work that's complete for controls up at Banner Cascade. Same with Lake Wildwood Water Treatment Plant, some PLC improvements there, they're complete. We installed a new flume at the Hog Chute
I
location.
love that name.
I know, I thought it was SHOOT when I first heard it, Hog Chute. Oh,
It
interesting.
relates to,
So this flume is in place and operational now. That work is done. I'm going to move through these vehicles. All right, so on hydro, I might need a little input. Let's see how we go here. On the Rucker Creek spill gate, we used to have a gate, the picture on the left there, that's basically open or closed. It was difficult to control how much we might spill out of the canal. We're installing a new weir gate where you can control the water level in the canal and spill just the right amount. So all the physical improvements in the opening for the canal where the outlet will be for the spill are complete. The gate is purchased and we're waiting for, hi Peter, we're waiting for the next outage to install it in 27. The Rollins Governor, you've heard about this project in the past. It's all designed. The equipment is on site. We were going to install it in 26, but we had an outage canceled. And so that's rescheduled for February, March of 27. Deer Creek Exciter project, this work is complete. The field office, you heard a couple months ago, we have improved the stucco on the exterior. That work will also be done. Work will be done this week. The larger improvement project to remodel the interior and make it habitable for our hydro team has been delayed at the city of Colfax. We've been waiting 4+ months now for a permit. I continue to be told, it's done, it's ready, but we still don't have it in hand. But our plan is to bid this work as soon as we have that permit. We have the contract in preparation right now, and then we'll know what it cost.
On the stucco, did we resolve that it was going to be okay to work inside after the stucco's fixed? Or are we going to do it in phases?
There still is a little vulnerability when working against the exterior walls, but we made the decision that it was not a significant risk and to proceed with protecting the exterior.
Are they going to go with screws versus nails then at that point against the exterior walls to keep the stucco from cracking? Or do we know?
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good question. We were just going to be careful and have our inspectors watch it. And hey, when they're on the exterior, let's control the work progress. Chicago Park Powerhouse refurbishment. This is largely for a transformer, a new transformer that's out to bid right now to transformer manufacturers. I forget the bid date. I think it's in October. And you've heard about that project. So it'll be a design build, design, fabricate the transformer and install it. It probably has a 3 to 4 year lead time. So we wanted to get that going. A component of that project is getting the transformer to the site. So we have to get across our bridge. And so there's a bridge analysis that we have an existing bridge that spans the Rollins Bear River. And so we're checking that bridge capacity. It just hasn't been inspected in a long time.
This is the transformer we put the deposit on, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
We have not paid a deposit yet. We won't pay a deposit till the transformer is bid.
It bids in October. And then each manufacturer has a different payment program. So we have, I forget the number, 4 million in our overall budget over the next couple of years, but they might require 100,000 to start their design or 500 deposit, and we'll have to work with their bid.
is this the same as the Chicago Park Rewind I've been hearing about, or we've been hearing about?
We've combined it all into a refurbishment project, and we are essentially phasing it with the most important component is getting the transformer ordered so that it can be replaced. It is at the end of its life cycle.
Okay.
So
That's a yes. But my question is, I thought we had 3 transformers. Is there only one that does 3 jobs or all 3 phases or?
This is one large generator step-up transformer, commonly called a GSU transformer, that includes 3 phases. All
And
3 are built into one.
It's $2 million just for that one.
Or
It is
4.
closer to 4 million.
4 million.
4 million.
4 million.
This project spans multiple years.
Right,
Mhm.
because it takes such lead time.
We had originally anticipated a $2 million upfront payment and 2 million on delivery or something, but it turns out all the payment programs will be different.
The old one is still working, correct?
Yes, it is still in service.
And we have a 4-year wait period once we accept the bid?
Most likely.
They all claim to have a different time period. I think one of them was 2 or 3 years and the others were 4.
You're essentially getting in line at the factory.
They're what?
You're essentially getting in line at the
Getting in
factory.
line at the factory.
Pick a number.
We need to open the
Yeah,
transformers.
it's a good business.
Let's get in this business.
But Director Heck, there are, as you questioned, there are other components that will be brought forward over the coming years for this facility, including the rewind.
And what about the copper?
Yeah, the copper prototypes.
I mean,
We have an item on closed session where
we have an item on closed session. Okay, thank you.
And just for the public, we had a large amount of copper stolen from one of our powerhouses.
Dutch Flat,
You look at.
a remote terminal unit replacement is scheduled for later this fall. That's just a control component. French Lake Dam actuator, you've heard about this before. I'll mention we got the cylinder out a couple weeks ago after a lot of work and rushed it to a shop, and it's currently being refurbished. That was one of the items on your consent agenda.
Is that the photo of the cylinder?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and the divers, I love that. That was a great little, press release or whatever that we put out on that.
I was most intrigued. It's kind of like farm work. You couldn't take it apart at one shop. You had to take it apart at another shop.
That was,
Yeah, it's a little
That's
bigger.
me. I got to take it over to Brad's
hammer.
place to get it apart.
That whole assembly, that's the body that we're seeing in the photo on the left. The diameter of the bore is about 18 inches in that photo, and the whole assembly was about 6,000 pounds to
Oh
float.
my
out.
goodness.
Is that cast or what is that?
It is, yeah, it is a casting. The flange on the side that you can see there, the near side, is about a 2-inch thick flange.
That really isn't that unusual, is it?
No, and we think this was built in the 1930s. So it was constructed in the 1930s. And
Yeah.
so back in that time, there were no design build elements. They were empirically built. So they knew for the pressures that it was going to be rated for that it had to be this approximate thickness. So it's significantly overbuilt.
Significantly overbuilt, like a lot of stuff in the old days.
Yep.
it lasted 80 years.
Yeah.
But 440,000 for the whole job.
That included the diving as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, so we anticipate having that back in October, and then there'll be another series of dives to reinstall it.
And recall the diving is extremely expensive because of the
Mhm.
high altitude and the very cold water. They can only be down, 2 minutes at a time?
2 minutes.
3?
Or
Or
Is
nitrogen.
it 3?
I think with the nitrox, they can be down for 30 minutes once a day.
I forgot they
That's a day.
switched to that. That's
Yeah.
Wow.
Sure. I guess it's kind of an off topic, but we're talking about a super El Nino this year. Is that going to affect this October date or is that storm coming later? Do we know?
It's coming later.
Chip perked up.
Chip, our personal weather guy.
We're right in the middle. Yeah.
South Yuba 8.5 mile slide repair. I know when I first started last year, I went out to the site a few times with a couple of you. That we finally got some results back from our geotech, which are positive. They concluded that the overall hill, I'll use the word appears stable. It calculates out to be stable, with some recommendations for surface improvements on the cut slope above it, just basically stabilization of the surface. And then down below to control the water, either from the leaking canal or that ponds on that bench where the flume was relocated. So there will be some work done there, but the expectation is that the hill itself is going to be there for a while. So
Do we still have to put plastic on it?
no, that will go away.
Okay.
Right. So we're going to improve the upper slope with a couple different systems we can use to stabilize it and seed it.
How close was I with my unofficial evaluation of it?
Director Stevens, I forget what your unofficial evaluation was.
Tell him he was right on.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, that's the right answer.
It sounds like it was close.
You nailed it. See, what is this? The microwave link? Is this our new telecommunications for the Whitcomb building?
This is
Yeah.
the updated telecommunications link for the new Whitcomb building, and this is work in progress.
Right. We have ordered some of this communication equipment so that we're moving forward with being ready to occupy the building.
And could you
Oh.
elaborate just how much this saves us? I mean, the old site that we were going to put the new hydro office in, we're going to sell that. The new hydro office takes its place. It's a lot more efficient. And with this microwave link, it just really increases our efficiency of communication between the hydro units in here, right?
The micro, just to be clear, be very clear, the microwave link is required to remotely operate any of our units.
Yeah.
As we do today. So it maintains the functionality that we have today by installing this equipment.
And it's safer than, I mean, it can't be hacked.
It has it's the same technology that we use today, so it has the same vulnerabilities that we have today.
It just has to be placed wherever we occupy. So if we're going to move, we're going to need this.
Right.
And I think you mentioned the site over Rollins where we were once going to move a few years ago, and that there was a big plan for a new building and site. That would have been more expensive than this, to my understanding.
It was
Isn't
like
that-
$30 million.
Yeah, it was crazy.
This is cheaper by far.
Yes.
By far.
Let's see. What do we have here? Peter, you want to speak to these?
Yeah, the Bowman North Dam. This is an ongoing project that we've asked for funding for each year. And this year we are not going to be working on this because of the water conditions are not anticipated to drop below the level that we'll actually need to repair the dam. And this is not a concern for us. We're going to continue that program into next year as well, looking for water elevations to drop lower and do the repairs next year. Next.
Is this a picture of the inside of the water side of the dam?
This is the upstream lining of
Upstream
the
line, there
dam.
we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the water side of the dam.
Thank you.
The Deer Creek Communications Project is completed. A Dutch Flat drain line repair. We need to excavate a short section of drain line below the toe of the dam that was cameraed and found to have a partial blockage. And to unearth that blockage and investigate that blockage fully, we need to excavate it. So we have a project to do this. The timing of that project is this fall. Bowman South Arch Dam repair. This is the Bowman South Arch Dam is a concrete arch dam. It has some defects in the concrete substrate, and this is an investigation into how to repair those concrete defects. Bowman transmission line pole replacement. We survey and assess the health of the poles in our 60 kV line. And when that pole report comes back with recommendations for replacement, then we have to replace those poles. So there's about a dozen poles that we need to replace in this project. Chicago Park flume controls upgrade. This is a project to replace outdated equipment that monitors the flume elevation and the water flow along the flume. This helps us detect if there's leaks or anything, a low flow or a high flow condition along the flume.
This is the flume for the power plant?
This is the flume, yeah, that runs the power plant. Chicago Park flume intake gate slot repair. There's a large wheeled gate at the intake to the flume at Chicago Park. And we found last year during annual inspections, a section of the embedded rail was deformed. And so we're replacing that section of rail. Deer Creek pole replacements. Again, just like the Bowman 60 kV line, when we did the pole assessment on this line, we found several poles that were at the end of their life and need to be replaced. South Yuba Canal Maintenance is a regular ongoing annual capital project where we select areas of the canal for major replacement and improvement. That is complete for this year. And the rest are our truck replacements. I think that's it for hydro.
Yeah, thank you, Peter.
Yeah.
See, we have some internal sections here. Ramp and stairs, you've all seen it at the entrance to the building. Started last year and concluded this spring. That's all in place now and done. ADA transition, we have a plan. This picture's not perfect here, but we have to spend a certain amount to illustrate compliance with ADA laws. And we are going to be doing some paving and striping and signage improvements at the Peninsula Campground this fall.
Abe, could I go back one on this ramp and stair replacement?
Yeah, I'm glad you did. I had the same question.
We have a budget of 77,650, but we approved $1 million for that.
It's all done. This is the spillover that was not completed in 25. So this is what we use part of in 26. And we're going to use a small amount of it to replace the doors, still kind of related to that project that's poised to occur over the next month or two. Yeah, the lion's share of that work was done and completed in 25.
So this is only 26 budget, so. Okay.
Right. Charging stations, we are in the process of reviewing with a consultant here and our own internal staff the work effort to design and start building the electrical facilities for a charging station as we work to retrofit our fleet to electric. If you have questions about that, I'll have to invite Steve up here. Maybe it's clear enough.
I just don't see the need for it, but that's.
Regulatory
I
requirement.
know.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, we're just dealing with the laws as they roll out to us.
Mhm.
Fuel tank upgrade, this is coming in under budget. I'm not sure when that will be installed, but it's been ordered. Is that correct, Steve?
Yeah. Software and hardware updates are currently occurring. What's remaining is working with our new computer system or district system to integrate the data from Fuel Master into that for future use.
Thank you.
Similarly with the diesel tanks, they're planned to be completed at the end of this year. Tyler software ongoing. Maybe I can get Greg here to comment.
I can chime in on the rest of these. English Meadow is just ongoing. That's monitoring and restoration. We've got work going on up there right now.
On Tyler, when do we stop spending on Tyler?
No, right?
We're in the process of completing the utility billing modules, so there will still be significant expenditures through the remainder of 2026. There'll be some additional higher level support needed in 27, and then you'll start seeing just more of an annual.
It'll flatline at some kind of a.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lower. Well, we have a disruption there. On the fuel system one, on the status, I really like seeing 10,500 under budget. I really like seeing that.
Hazard fuels is just an ongoing budget project that we're working on. Always having trees that are dying. We have to cut them down and move them around. This is a coordination with Nevada County OES. They're doing a lot of work along roadside fuels clearing. They've got a grant. We're helping them do some, in addition to the 100-foot wide section of roadside along Pasquale Road and the dam access road up on Cascade Shores. We're doing some work to help with the overall project here to clear out for fires, fuels mitigation up there. This we spoke about a little bit earlier. This is a grant funding that we received from the Sierra Nevada Conservancy and will be anticipated to be going out for a contract award here soon, with implementation of about a mile of tree and vegetation fuel clearing this fall.
So how is that prioritized? Which section to do, that kind of thing?
Well, the big one is like I mentioned earlier, we've been asked to come back with a full plan to do. And so we'll have different prioritizations after that plan. This just happened to be access issue, is that Highway 20 runs right through it. And so it's just the easiest access on a 17-mile stretch of the canal. So that's why we chose this particular section first.
Okay.
Looks like there's some timber some timber sales
There's
possible.
always some tip.
Yeah, and,
There's always.
and we'll talk about that when we bring this forward soon. But yes, there are timber opportunities.
You've already sold what, 175,000 or?
Doesn't Scott?
That's for the Scott's Flat logging project. We'll talk about that in a second. Upper Yuba Forest, we anticipate finishing this project up this fall. We've got contractors, 3 different contractors up there right now, finishing up in Austin Meadows, Milton Reservoir, in and around Jackson Meadows. So it's a kind of a dispersed area up there, but we're feeling really good about getting this done.
Could we go back to South Yuba Canal? Because, if we reduce, well, we get more defensible space for fire, but that's going to increase the moisture in the ground.
So,
You know what I mean?
Long game.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what type of.
I mean, I'm more worried.
vegetation's removed.
I'm more worried about fire, but you start to see water flowing where there's been fires or there's been a lot of restoration with the forest, and it's going to increase more movement and
Slope stability
water
you're
in
worried
that.
about?
Are you worried about, yeah, are you worried about the foundation of the facility?
unless they're anchored to the
A
bedrock.
lot of this section that we're working in now is bedrock. It's pretty rock outcroppings.
Okay.
But that's the anticipation and looking future at the rest of the canal that is on slopes like the 8.5 mile slide is really kind of figuring out what to do around those sections.
And also, I think this picture that's shown is a perfect example of some of the trees we're targeting. If the tree falls, it's going to take down the flume.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm more
There's lots
worried
of
about
issues.
fire than anything else. So, yeah.
Piggyback on that conversation, are we gonna have an evaluation done for dewatering or leaving root balls for slope stability and stuff like that? Is that gonna be part of it, or do we know?
We don't know yet. We don't really have once we get into it, we'll have foresters and we'll have geology and soil analysis. So we'll be able to tell sort of at certain sections of the canal what we might want to do for fuels mitigation. We just talked about that. Talked about that one. Selective logging. We did pull about 315 million board feet out of Cascade Shores area. And that was what you mentioned, Rich, about $152,000 of revenue was returned to the district. Looks really great. I think it's a great project. It's best to just get the wood out of the area as opposed to leaving it in deep chip.
And that's it. So this wasn't intended to just be an update on where we're at or with 2026, because at your next board meeting, we will be bringing forth the 2027 proposed capital program. So this is a good start of background.
Right. Do have a question. I'm sorry, everybody, but back on the South Yuba Canal maintenance, we had a $300,000 budget for 2026, which I felt at the time was a little light. And, what was I going to say? So are we just planning on doing about $300,000 a year for the next 100 years? Or are we going to, bump that up a little bit? What is the larger plan for this South Yuba Canal maintenance?
Currently, we've increased in our consideration of developing the water rates. We have increased the amount of money that we would like to put forth towards protecting and securing the South Yuba Canal.
Right.
And then you'll see probably within the next year or so a more thorough plan for addressing some of the larger kind of engineering issues associated with the canal.
Mm-hmm. Because when we took it over from PG&E, wasn't there a study done?
Yeah, there was a study that was done, and
it was like
high-level study.
Yeah, it was a high-level study, and there was multiple millions, tens of millions. I don't remember what the numbers were, but it was significant.
Oh, yeah.
What it would take to put it in.
Hundreds of millions of dollars.
That's what
The
I thought.
challenges are where it's located, and it's prone to being damaged by landslides or rock falls or tree falls.
Fire. Yeah, all of that. Okay, I was just kind of curious. Wow, 300,000, that's like nothing compared to what.
It's the work that we can get done during our annual outage every year.
I see. Okay.
Peter and his team, they go through and they identify whether, the wooden structure is failing somewhere and it needs to be replaced, or if flume sheets that are leaking and have woodpecker holes in them or whatever makes all those holes. We replace.
We talk about the South Yuba Canal a lot and its, and its severity and need.
Plan.
That's what I was gonna
Yeah.
say.
No, it needs, so what we'll do is we're going to tear off of the previous effort that was completed that did more of a high level identification of the
Right.
issues associated with it. And then now we need to come back with an actual.
Yeah, because we talk about it a lot and we talk about it in terms of the huge amount of money that it's going to take over time to get this secured. And and when I thought 300,000, it's like, well, that kind of doesn't support the argument for how much
That's
money.
not what that is. Yeah, that's just.
So I just kind of
for
wanted
its
to
material for the annual outage.
put an asterisk next to it. Okay.
But don't we have a separate budget item for the maintenance? Originally, we had $2 million, didn't we?
Yeah, I thought it
Yeah,
was.
there's
2 million.
quite a bit of money in it.
Just for the maintenance, not this kind of repair, right?
Well, there's ongoing maintenance and operations that are just absorbed into
That we didn't have
the
before we had.
hydropower budget. Correct.
Okay,
Okay. Thank you.
good. All right.
All right.
Um,
That was it.
That's it. Thank you very much. Thanks for the update. It's always interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate it. Okay, next, the general manager's report.
So I did have a little list of items. Mr. Jones just already hit on one, and that is if anybody would like to show your support for receiving Prop 4 funding, there is a link that is available on our website, and it will lead you to be able to develop a form letter. Mr. Jones has also been coordinating with Nevada County, Placer County, Grass Valley, Nevada City, fire districts on obtaining either resolutions of support or letters of support. So we are getting our package together. So that is all good news. And we will have our first ag efficiency meeting on September 1st. So stay tuned for that effort. We are, as I discussed, we are currently looking at budgeting, but I am, just as a note, I am keeping the capital program low until we have our debt secured. And then,
Can you give a little more update on that? Because interest rates were.
interest rates, long-term yield curves right now are horrendous for bond issuance. So I have been evaluating alternative strategies for a debt issuance, which also includes a kind of a temporary issuance of commercial paper, which acts more like a line of credit than a formal bond issuance. And then the idea would be that we would then roll it into a long-term bond issuance.
If they come down.
Correct. Yeah, they're high. They're up. We'd probably be looking at 5.25 on a long-term bond issuance. And we can probably get around 3.25, even with the carrying costs on issuing of commercial paper. And commercial paper has some other advantages as well. You don't have to start paying debt, as well as interest on the total amount borrowed. You pay as you draw it down.
Go. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were down a little bit today, but
No, they're not
It's just
looking
like-
good. I think that
yeah.
normally I would like the long-term security of knowing what the interest rate is, but we are likely looking at doing a commercial paper issuance. So what the board will be seeing is I'm rewriting the reserve policy right now, as well as we'll be kind of handling the budget a little bit differently than we've seen in years past, which I'll explain thoroughly to all of you, but it's to ensure that we meet the liquidity requirements that are looked for by the underwriters.
But we're AA right now,
AA plus.
AA plus, and so if we ever went to a single A, it just costs a whole lot more money.
Yeah, we're in a really good situation. So the highest is AAA, right? But so we're AA plus. We're looking really good. We'll get favorable rates, but I will be moving some money around to bolster our liquidity for underwriting.
And to translate, not today, but how much this saves in water rates. It allows us to keep the water rates lower than they normally would. If we can fund it out.
Oh, yes.
For a period of time.
Yeah. So the debt service was built into the rates. It does the debt service actually starts in year one. That's why I'm holding the capital lower than what we showed in the rate model till I get the debt secured, and then we will financing secured, then we will come back and increase it. But we'll have a long workshop on that. And then let's see. Oh, exciting news. On August 21st of this year, NID turned 105 years old.
Years old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, not August 15th. August 21st. 15th.
You told me August 21st.
I told everybody it's 15th.
Belated birthday.
Belated birthday. Birthday and I-
And then a big reminder that we will be transitioning to monthly billing for irrigation customers. I have been getting a question asked, which is a really great question. Can people still pay ahead if they would like to? And yes, they can. They would just call our office. We give them the total amount due over the irrigation season, whether they're summer or annual, whatever type of customer they are. And then they would just see a credit on their bill. I also got asked why we would still send bills if they've paid in full. And that's because it is way more expensive for us to not send the bill than it is to have the system automatically send a bill. And then lastly, we are still going back and forth with PG&E regarding their request for Spalding 1 payment. Still have not received an answer to my continued asks for the root cause analysis, which we're still looking for. So I will continue to keep the board updated on that matter.
Can that go to the PUC or anything?
No, there are dispute resolution clauses within the coordinated operating agreement that we would be required to follow, and they do not include the CPUC. That's all I had.
Hide behind the curtain.
Hey, could we have a update from Chip about, not an update, but about
Storage?
fall water? I assume we have water availability.
Yeah, we're looking good right now.
But I think there's always a misnomer in my mind that you can buy it, but it's additional charge. Is that how it works?
Yeah, it is an additional charge, and we set it out at the beginning of the year that both were available this year due to the excess water we had. So we were in good shape.
Perfect. Thank you.
And that's
All right,
it.
thank you, Jennifer. Did you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go
You
first.
got your finger up.
Yep, I
Okay,
did.
go ahead.
One is that the messaging, I'd love to keep good, positive messaging for the district going when we have a positive thing. We have a positive event, positive something. I like to get the message out there. Two, love the Prop 4 on the website. Thank you for that. You mentioned a bunch of people you're going after. You didn't mention the City of Lincoln, Auburn, the Max, or the Farm Bureau. Are we going to also include them in getting Prop 4 letters?
We sure can.
Yep, excellent.
He said Placer County Farm
do have-
Bureau
yeah.
did submit.
Oh, did, okay.
We did. Yep.
But
No, yeah.
the-
Well, let's talk about that off.
We've got a big list.
Okay, perfect. If we could see the savings, I love seeing the savings, especially 10,500 on the thing. If we could do a cost versus budget of savings or something besides what we have here, that's great. And my last thing is that the sale of properties how are we doing with the hydro facility and the residentials for the reservoirs that are making progress on those?
Yeah, there are, how many houses do we have listed right now? 4?
There's 4 on the market today.
4 are on the market. The real estate market has slowed down. So we're not seeing quick movement right now. But we're looking decent.
Okay, thank you.
The 4 that are on the market are higher value properties.
Getting looked at. They're looking good.
Yeah, they look.
Encourage everyone to-
You want to see the picture.
I'd encourage everyone
Like-
to go on the Zillow.
Zillow,
Find 'em.
MLS, Realtor.com,
Yeah.
all of those places have them. Yeah. That's good. Okay.
That's it for me. Thank you.
Director Heck.
Thank you. Just very quickly, I've been, busy with constituent things, but also had the opportunity, and thank you so much, Gabe, for taking a field trip along the Red Hill Canal and getting a chance to look at the slide area. Really informed ourselves of what is going to be necessary and what we can maybe do without, in terms of replacing the whole thing or not, and what parts can be replaced and so on. So the field trip was great, and thank you, Greg, and thank you, Gabe. That was very instructive. Thanks. So that's it for me. Thank
Okay.
you.
Director Fowler?
Days are getting shorter and the water's going further and we're starting fall calving.
Yeah, I want to, there's a ditch changer, David, on Pet Hill Extension. The guys out there are very happy. Got that. They said, boy, it's working nice. And just wanted to send out a kudos and talked to somebody yesterday, had been up to Jackson Meadows and what Jackson Lake too. And they just said, God, it's so peaceful. You know, we just don't have the motorboats up there with the golden mussel thing. And it was just, she said it was delightful. So we do have I think a large contingency that likes to just take in nature without the distraction. And then Carl, you want a tour of E. George Water Treatment Plant? Okay, well, you guys heard it, so now we'll. Right. That's it.
Okay. For me, we finished our micro pond yesterday. He's going to start putting NID water in it today or tomorrow. And kudos to the staff. We had a little glitch with water supply. We usually have one every summer, but this one took a little more sleuthing to figure out what the problem was, but got it done. So good water season. And with that, we are adjourned.
We do have closed session.
Yes,
We do not
sorry.
expect any readouts. However, I do think that there is a public comment on a closed session item.
Yes, sorry, I jumped the gun. Go ahead. Any comment from the public on closed session items to be?
Yes, I would like to read a few comments into the record.
Okay.
Anyway, once again, my name is Mark Henwood, and you may recall I spoke to the board meeting, your last board meeting, regarding the rate increases and how they might impact the out-of-district customers like us who receive water from NID pursuant to the Railroad Commission Order of 1926 authorizing your purchase of Excelsior Water and Power. Once again, I want to thank you for the opportunity to provide our comments regarding frankly, the potential for annexation into the district. And also some minor comments relative to your 2026 NID cost of service study. First, since the last meeting, I've had a chance to both interact by email and speaking with your general manager and about the potential for annexation. And I must tell you, we're really encouraged by this activity on the annexation front and appreciate the effort that the district is putting into this. Including apparently you've attempted already and within 1 week after the last board meeting to attempt to meet with Nevada LAFCO to discuss the process. So this is great news in our opinion, and we want to tell you that annexation is our preferred solution to any kind of rate issues relative to the RCO lands. And just as an FYI, I do need to mention to you that unfortunately, we did not receive notice from NID regarding the rate study. I've double checked with our family member who receives information, gets billings routinely from NID, and we did not receive any notice from that. Who knows if that turns out to be important or not, but I wanted to at least let you know that. Anyway, we're really hopeful that the annexation process succeeds because it will frankly allow us and NID to avoid devoting any further time, energy, and expense to addressing the rate study. And in that regard, and to express the enthusiasm we have for that, we are willing to, our family and our property are willing to assist NID in any way possible to make the annexation come true. We have relationships in Yuba County, which we think would be helpful to the process. We're located in Yuba County. We know a number of people in the county. And so we'd offer our support in any way we can to help with this effort. And with that concludes my comments, and thanks for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you.
I think we have one more individual.
My name's Tom Alborn. I'm actually Mark's neighbor. the neighboring ranch next door. I just wanted to go on record that I support the annexation also. Me and Mark talked about it extensively. Seems like the right way to go, and I appreciate you guys considering it. And also want to offer our support, our family, whatever we can do to help contacting the other people affected by this, to talk to them about it and give them our opinion on it. But we're here to help if we can anyway. Just want to let you know that we really appreciate your effort on it.
We will likely ask for both of your assistance.
All right. Is any other comments on the public comment on the closed session items we're to consider? All right. With that, we will adjourn to
These are items on closed session.
on closed session. We're talking about closed session.
Yes, I got that. All right, so the item on closed session was, some people have been alluding about Nevada County Farm Bureau and the support of the Prop 4 proposition. We have our executive board meeting at 2:00 today. I'm sure we will approve that. And will be added to your list. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? All right, now we will adjourn to closed session. Thank you all for coming today.